All right, we're back again. This is episode 277 on our very own West Yorkshire bullshit platform. And someone else is with us today who's also got a bullshit platform.
Hang on a minute, there's only you that's in West Yorkshire, by the way.
Oh yeah, you're in
we're all over the country.
Yeah.
We're all over the country. Only one in Yorkshire.
We're international. Yeah. In fact,
Or
Guy's
national.
closer to Yorkshire probably than you are.
Where are you again, guys? Sorry, I forgot.
Devon.
Devon. He's fucking miles away. Couldn't be
Maybe
any
not.
further away.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Nice Devon, isn't it? Do you like it down there, Guy? I went there a few years ago for a holiday.
Was it open?
We're talking 2 years ago.
Because often people come down this way, but there's a lot of them have to head back.
Why?
There's a sign up usually saying closed for repairs or
essential. Is this one of your weird jokes?
Yeah, it just feels.
You
like
get
it
me when you do
sometimes.
those weird jokes. You get me when you do them. I never can tell if you're actually jesting or not. I once had someone when I worked in London. I convinced them that you needed a passport to get from Yorkshire to London.
Oh, I convinced my wife that you needed a passport to get the Isle of Wight years ago.
I was convinced a girl who was scared of flying. I was convinced a girl who was scared of flying who worked for me that you could get a ferry from here to Mexico.
P&O.
Yeah, P&O ferry.
But your missus is African, so why would she know any different? That's quite cruel,
Well,
actually, Guy. I'm on your wife's side there, by the way. So.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, they're defending you, saying you weren't born here, so how would you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see.
You've got a fan. Yeah. But no, down here it's lovely. It's a lovely part of the world, but I think it's, for me, having lived in busy cities and I grew up in Cambridge, then moved to Newcastle, just outside Newcastle, and then Northampton, and I've come down here and I'm in the middle of nowhere, and it's a bit too quiet for me.
Why did you move down there then, Guy?
Proper North Newcastle, isn't it? Proper North.
Yeah, did my secondary school up there. Why? It was just after the pandemic, and we just thought we just reevaluated everything. Our eldest son had gone off traveling around the world, and our little one was about to move out, and we thought, well, where do we want to be? And we'd always liked it down here, so we thought we'll give it a go. And 5 years later, we're still here. My wife really likes it. But I just got itchy feet. There's just not enough going on where we are. Our nearest city is Exeter, and it's not really big enough to be called a city. Not really. I mean, it's got a cathedral, but that's the only qualification. There's just not enough going on here, and I just seem to be going north all the time, for talks and and different things, and just feel a bit disconnected.
Yeah, I can live anywhere.
Yeah, you're an hermit.
Sorry, Dom. Whereabouts are you?
Well, I'm I'm in Halifax, but it's sort of bordering Huddersfield. So Huddersfield.
It's literally the border. It's literally the border where you are, isn't it?
Yeah.
To Halifax.
So you've got two big towns close by. You've obviously got Cambridge on your doorstep.
I'm happy to stay out of the way, though, Guy. I'm not like you. I don't need action.
But also, he lives in the middle of nowhere, Guy. When you say Huddersfield, I mean, there's some pretty, there's no where he lives on. He lives on a hill in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, do you?
But you've got access to Halifax and Huddersfield if you want, I suppose.
Yeah, I in the centre of Halifax, so I'm there quite a bit.
Someone said I'd swap Devon for Manchester any day. Depends whereabouts in Devon you are.
Yeah.
And of course, Manchester. It depends on where you are. We are in the middle of nowhere, ironically, on a sheep farm. But, all we've got is Exeter. I've done it to death. And if we wanted to go to a big city, the nearest place we've got is Bristol. And, I'm kind of more London, Manchester, Birmingham.
I was in Bristol 2 weeks ago. But I was always in London. My missus is London, so she can't live. I could live out in the middle of nowhere. I could live anywhere, but my missus has to live near some action. Otherwise, she goes crazy. The first time I took her to Yorkshire, we took her to Yorkshire Sculpture Park in Wakefield, and she said, "Are they actual sheep?" She thought it were an installation. Don't think she'd ever seen a live sheep before. Anyway, sorry about that.
It's all right. Isn't that what it's all about?
I just think, for me, I'm out doing quite a lot of talks, and all I seem to do is be driving up the M5.
Right. Yeah.
And you know, I'm spending, like last week, 10 hours traveling to do a talk. The week before, 12 hours. And I just think we need to be back more in the Midlands somewhere. Middle
It's
England
quite
somewhere.
isolated down there, isn't it? It's quite isolated.
Just so I can get to places, you know. So time to move on. But we're looking at Portugal as well.
Well, that is way out, isn't it? You're not going to be able to come up and down on the M1 to do talks then.
Yeah, no, I'd have to come back for a month at a time.
Yeah, but you forget he's in on it, so he's got a private jet. He doesn't have to worry about it.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting that. I was told the other day again. I was in 33rd degree Freemason and controlled opposition.
Yeah,
I keep forgetting.
Borrow that Masonic helicopter anytime you want, can't you?
Oh, yeah,
I know.
We've got
I know. Yeah, and I get Dave and Will to fly it for me.
Yeah,
that red one.
Yeah,
it's weird because we've got our big shill mics, so we've got a bullshit platform, you know, obviously. I now got a big shill book as well and a big shill merch store. I don't really. It's just strange. What a strange world we live in. Strange.
Do you know Mark Atwood?
I know who he is, but I don't know him.
Yeah.
Hang on a minute. Which one's Mark Atwood? Sorry,
based out in Ireland. He does.
Yeah, he's Ireland. Yeah. Seems a nice guy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's really lovely. Yeah, really lovely bloke. And he's just actually bought a huge old manor house, and he's turning it into a therapy centre. He's already got one in the area. He's got rife machines. You know, he's got hyperbaric chambers. Got everything.
I should contact him really because I do a health podcast as well. It'd be a good one to have a chat with.
He'd definitely have you on as well. And I just did a podcast with him about cloning, and one of the first people to message or to comment said that we were both inverts.
Right.
And I thought, I've not been called that one yet. That's
what invert as in what? As in
that we're both women. I thought
that's handy, isn't it?
Does
your wife know? Does your wife know?
I know. What's she going to say?
It's a good one, that, isn't it?
She married another woman.
Yeah.
My kids are going to be really confused.
I don't know who Mark Atwood is. Sorry, I thought you meant Sean Atwood. That's what I was talking about. I was getting confused with. Yeah. No, I don't know who Mark Atwood is. But that's a good one. We haven't been accused of being women yet, have we been accused?
No. Maybe you're
time.
really my wife, Chris.
Peel my beard off.
The world is going nuts, isn't it? I mean, let's face it, it is going crazy. I mean, I'm trying to think when it actually started going crazy. It's just ramping up, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, going back to that intro that played there, when you've seen them people, it always gets me, and I play it nearly every week, especially when we do a live one. Those people banging pots and pans on a Thursday night, like demented seals, as Richard Diol used to say. It takes you back sometimes, doesn't it? I found it quite enlightening them times. I don't know, it sounds a bit mad, but I actually found it quite. You were like you were alive. It was a strange sensation.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I found it easier to travel.
I did, yeah.
The roads were brilliant, weren't they?
I was working in some care homes, and it was like Twilight Zone. It was just.
Are you making any TikTok videos, Chris?
I could drive from here to one and see not one car or a person.
Yeah,
fucking like an hour away. One of them was, I think.
The only time I remember it like that, and I actually drove down to Cornwall. Me and a mate of mine drove to Cornwall the day of Princess Diana's funeral, and there was nothing on the road. It was a surreal thought. And I thought, for one person we don't even know, everyone stays in watching a procession, which has, like that, banging pots and pans, has to be a ritual. It has to be.
Do you think it's a little bit of ambulance chasing? Do you think that when there's something sad going on or something bad's happened, it gets more attention than something good going? Not that they report on anything positive, but you know, we do as we slow down, don't we, to look at car accidents and so. I was on a. I'm going really off a tangent here. I sat in a traffic jam on the M25 years ago for about an hour. Didn't move, and eventually we start moving a little bit, and I didn't know what it was. I assumed it was an accident, And people were slowing down to watch this girl in a really short skirt changing her tyre. That's what it was.
At least it was
Better
something
than-
useful.
I was going to
Yeah.
say, better than an
Standstill.
accident, isn't it? At least.
Unbelievable. But I agree. It was a weird time, the first lockdown, wasn't it? Because the roads were empty, and to start with, everybody treated it as a bit of a holiday. But after a while, the rot started to set in. Didn't
Yeah,
it?
I think we realised it was a bit more sinister. Probably people in the chat and us three at the beginning. It was always a bit more sinister than a jolly for my whatever local neighbours and what have you that were in the gardens, because it just happened to be red hot as well, which never happens in March and April.
See, I had a different experience. It wasn't a jolly for me at all because I'd just gone self-employed. I just quit my chef job and gone freelance, and then everywhere shut down. So therefore, I ended up enrolling with an agency that did the care homes. So
Was this chefing at the care home?
Yeah. But they didn't. They said
Not euthanizing.
So they're going to look after the self-employed.
Well, he didn't need to. They had a jab for that.
But they said they're going to look after the self-employed, but they didn't really, did they? So I had to go and work in some care homes. It was all right though. I didn't mind it, to be fair. It was all right. Shit money, but it was all right. They stopped me working there when they asked me to have a test. I was working in one for ages, and then they were sending me to a few others, and then they said, if you go to this one, you've got to have a test. But they said it just as I put the phone down. I'd agreed to this job, and then they went, oh, by the way, you've got to have a test, and then kind of hung up. So I rang them back, and I said, I'm not comfortable with this test, because I'd never had one. And I said, daughter was at nursery, my missus was at work. So if I'd proved positive, no one could leave the house. So I said, I'm not willing to have one. I'd rather not. And they went, well, it didn't mean anything. And I said, well, why do I have to have it then? And I never heard from them again. I'd worked for them all through the bullshit for, I don't know, a year maybe? 6 months, a year.
Really? And then they just dropped you?
Quite a while. Yeah. But the funny thing is, with all that shit going on, right, I could walk into a care home through the back door, basically. They let me straight in. I'm not blaming the care home, but they were all really nice people. I could walk straight in there, cook for 30 people, 40 people, not wear a mask or gloves, no test, no nothing, and then just walk out the back door again. So that didn't fit into the logic of COVID in itself, does it, at all?
No. And neither did it. I questioned it when I remember being in a pub when it opened, on the first night it reopened, one that was near my old tattoo studio. And he said, I'm really sorry, everybody, we've got to follow these rules. You've got to sit at the table. We'll come to you. I said, the irony with all of this is that we're being distanced inside the pub, but we're all using the same toilet. So are you going in there and cleaning the door handles and the urinals and the taps and the hand dryer? Are you cleaning all of that each time someone comes in and out? And is there an instruction to do that? He said, no, of course there isn't. And I said, well, what is the point of any of this? Do you know what I mean? None of it made sense. But
To the
I'd
point,
already been.
If a fly landed on you, then buzzed off and landed on someone else, then buzzed off, are they going around killing all the flies because in case they're spreading the germs?
Super spreaders.
It's just endless, isn't it? It's just endless. You could come up with.
It was just silly, wasn't it? But I lost my Facebook account because of what I was saying in 2020 at first. The first lockdown.
And there I was thinking you'd stay silent.
I then went and worked. I went and worked in pubs then, guy, when they first reopened, and again cooking in the kitchen, and then you walk outside and people jump out your way. I'm like, just cooked your food, you dickhead.
Yeah. A lady came in the clinic today who was a delivery driver, and she said she was delivering parcels in obviously 2020. I don't know which company she worked for. And a woman came to the door. She said, why haven't you got a mask on? She went, I ain't wearing one of them. From Barnsley and all, so she was giving it proper. I ain't wearing one of them. Her husband came and said, you should be ashamed of yourself, blah, blah. She said, that sort of shit I were getting on doorsteps. She said, do you want your parcel or not? And she said people were actually making her put it on the doorstep and coming out and spraying it with bleach.
But it just shows you, doesn't it? I mean, you've got an element of stupidity there, but you've also got the fear.
Yeah.
I mean, this is ordinary people being scared to death unnecessarily. And I bet half of the people that were spraying things with Dettol and disinfectant and bleach I've now sat back and questioned the entire thing. But that's the problem,
I hope so,
isn't it?
Guy. I hope so. I
It
hope they
was
have
so
sat back.
powerful, wasn't it? It was so, unless you were wide awake.
But even the other angle of it is like that guy said who owned that pub and probably knew it was nonsense, but just had to do it.
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah, absolutely.
Just to go along with their bullshit,
Yeah, he was pure.
So that's kind of worse, isn't it? Thinking I'm just doing it because I've kind of got to. I mean, that's where my line in the sand was. I wouldn't have wear a mask and I wouldn't take any tests or anything. But everyone had a different little line in the sand, didn't they? I suppose
he'd been pouring beer away. It's stuff that had gone out of date. He tried giving stuff away. I think they were in trouble.
Sad,
they needed to open.
And that was the thing. They got them by basically holding them to ransom. These little businesses, small businesses, successful businesses as well, that fed families and what have you, and entertained people and whatnot. And they just destroyed them. People like Boris Johnson didn't care. They just didn't care.
Well, my argument was, why did they close tattoo studios? We had face masks anyway. We
and gloves.
Them we were always wearing gloves, but we had masks and we'd wear them if we had hay fever or a cold or, or the other person had a cold or a sniffle or something. You just give them one anyway. And our piercer was always wearing them. We Dettoled everything. Everything was Dettoled. We had ultrasonic cleaners. Everything. It was cleaner than your doctor's surgery or your dentist.
Probably the safest place to be. Yeah.
Yeah, that was my argument. I actually put that up. I took a bottle of Dettol, changed it to the name of the tattoo studio, and started doing sort of adverts. Then I had a Carlsberg advert. It said Pigments Tattoo Studio, probably the cleanest place in the world, and all this kind of stuff. And in the end, I just got my account was closed. But that was my argument. If we're looking at this from a hygiene or transferring of fluid or disease or anything, then what would be cleaner than a tattoo studio as far as the high street's concerned? But Ladbrokes opened way before we did.
Yeah, did it really?
The betting shops opened before we were the last to open. Tattoo studios were the last places to open.
Well, that tells you what the most important thing was. Close down the social areas, close down the areas of leisure and things like that.
No, but also I think most tattooists are independent, aren't they? Ladbrokes isn't.
Yes,
I think it's that, isn't it? That's what it was.
We weren't exactly donating a lot of money to HMRC, that's for sure.
But also there's no chains, is there? There's no chain with some big fat cat at the end of it who can get them kept open.
Yeah,
but it's not just that. The companies that, if you think about what that lockdown was about, controlling people online, one of the big things that people went to was gambling. They had excess money, excess time, and they were gambling. It's a definite. The Coates family, I think Denise Coates, she's called. She is the highest paid female CEO, might be even CEO in Britain of Bet365 or wherever it is. She earns something like 400 million a year out of the business. Personally, the family's worth billions. Like nearly 10 billion pounds, not dollars, pounds. And that, if you look at the spikes of some of these companies in 2019 up to present date, the rise from 2020 was huge, absolutely huge. But yet the small, what you class as mum and pop businesses, small to medium enterprises, they went nosedived. And
we saw Amazon, didn't we? Amazon just because no one could go anywhere in theory. I mean, we carried on. Our youngest son went off on holiday to Portugal on his own. No mask, no vaccines. Off he went, no problem. He wasn't stopped or asked anything once in the airports. Our eldest now was in Australia getting arrested for not following the rules, and we just went out and did our own thing. We went camping. We went to London. We had London to ourselves. On one day we were down there just wandering around. We went to the city to watch the 5G mask being installed.
Around the same time as we were all locked down, Guy. What a coincidence that is.
Even the toilets were Chinese. All of the workers were in the city. All of the workers were Chinese. Even the portaloos were. The machinery they were using, everything.
Really?
It was all Chinese, and we just filmed them, had a wander around, and then we went to Millionaires Row, and had a look where George Michael used to live, and the most expensive street in the suburbs of London, and they had houses there that were still being worked on. An extension here and a conservatory there and a swimming pool somewhere else, where everybody else was shut down unless it was new builds. If you had the money, you just carried on.
I worked with a chef who was he ended up doing private catering in Portugal, actually, for like footballers and etc. Quite wealthy folk. He said it just didn't exist. Nothing was happening. There was no lockdown. There was no COVID. There was no nothing. He said you were going around their houses and cooking as normal. It was like it had never happened.
So do you think that's a combination of where he was and the clientele?
I suppose so. I don't know.
I think when you explained it at the time, it was more the clientele.
Yeah, I would say so. But I suppose it's a combo of both.
If you're hopping on a private jet, flying to a private airport,
I think you mentioned that.
Car,
actually.
yeah,
I think you mentioned
you did. I remember you telling me. Yeah.
Right.
I tattooed this girl. Sorry, no, I didn't. I tattooed this guy. I think it was
an invert.
It was during the first.
Yeah.
I think it was during, because obviously we carried on working, so we just got the window. We got film. We got a company come and put film over the windows so they were smoked, and we just carried on. I was tattooing this guy who worked for an insurance company. And he had called a very wealthy client, really wealthy client. It was all high net worth stuff, to let them know that her car insurance was due for renewal. And she said, I can't take the call at the moment. I'm on holiday in Mexico with my friends. Can I give you a call back in a couple of weeks? He said, yeah, sure. We got till the end of the month, blah, blah, blah. And he turned around to her and said, hold on a moment. How did you get out to Mexico on holiday during the lockdown? We've just gone into lockdown. And she said, well, Daddy said it didn't matter to us. 2 weeks later, he rings her because she hadn't called him back, and she's now skiing in Switzerland. And he said, "My God, you get about, don't you?" And she said, "Well, yeah, Daddy said it doesn't matter."
Good old Daddy.
And why not? And why not if you can? That's my view.
Yeah, good for them.
Yeah.
Stick
So
much
much
the
money,
system,
the rules didn't apply.
Yeah,
the rules did not apply to her because they had that much money.
Well, I'll tell you what. One of the threads through that book I've just written is how many of the COVID MPs broke the rules. How many of them actually, from Boris Johnson to Dominic Cummings to Matt Wancock to loads of other, even Stephen Kinnock, who was part of the Labour Party, who was Neil Kinnock's son, broke the rules. I think Michael Gove did. Lots of them at the heat of the lockdown broke the rules. I mean, fucking Dominic Cummings drove to Durham to Barnard Castle.
His eyes tested, yeah.
Well, yeah. And he said I drove 50 miles to see if my eyes worked, so I could drive to London. See, it's like.
But I can't. I have to say, I think all that was part of the charade for whatever psychological reason. That I think all that Dominic Cummings bullshit and.
No, but they really did drive up there, Chris. There's no.
Oh no, I'm sure. I know. I'm not saying they did. But what I mean is, why were we let to find that out and that party thing and all that?
But to wind everybody up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was part of the charade, wasn't it? It was part of the charade. It wasn't something. It was something real happening, wasn't it?
Do you think it was slightly to normalise them as well? So we've got the feeling that hold on, we might not.
Yeah,
follow
maybe
the rules and actually.
Few of us didn't.
Yeah,
maybe. Guy,
I can't say anything. I didn't.
Yeah, the rebels. Yeah.
Did it normalise? I mean,
there is a big difference. So we weren't locking everybody down.
No, I totally agree. But I wonder if afterwards it all came out afterwards. It didn't come out at the time, did it? It sort of slowly came out, and I wonder if that was just to perhaps normalise things. So we think, well, actually, cheeky bastard went off, drove all that way to go and get his eyes tested, and then have a party in Downing Street. And you think, well, hold on a moment. I went camping.
Not to make everyone angry as well, though, guys. Just to make people angry and stressed, more stressed than they already were, more angry.
I would say more likely Barnard Castle, the biggest employer in that area is GSK, and within weeks of that happening, they signed a £60 million deal to fill the syringes.
Oh, right, okay.
And they're the ones, do you know the latest meningitis thing? They're the ones making that the government are buying.
Where do you think this is going, the meningitis thing? Because I figured it starts off with some students in Kent. They go home for Easter and they can say it's no longer confined to Kent. They all went back to their hometowns and now they've spread it everywhere. And that's kind of what I saw playing out. But
that's what we thought. We thought the same thing, to be fair, guy, but it seems to have fizzled out, doesn't it? Has it fizzled out? Or is it still...
I don't think they can take it all on at once anymore. They've got to do it in little pockets of...
But also they've got the data collection to see if people are reacting how they want them to, and maybe they didn't react how they wanted to, so they had to just close it down to the next one.
Lyme disease is circulating again. I keep hearing about Lyme disease. They're desperate, aren't they, for another pandemic? They're just trying to find one that we go, oh, that's scary. But so far, most people are going, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I think that's right.
I mean, Lyme disease is a little, well, presumably different because I've got Lyme disease. Yeah, I suffered with it badly for about 15 years. 2018.
This is probably a totally different thing, though, John.
Yeah, and that's what.
Sorry, this is what Lyme disease. I meant 5G.
No, this is what. This is what I mean. It is. So to say something is spreading when it's meant to be a bite from an insect.
Yeah,
that doesn't make sense anyway, does it?
No.
How can you jab someone to protect them from a bite from an insect? I
keep hearing it. I keep hearing it all the time.
But I mean, we've done podcasts on it. It was part of Operation Paperclip, taken back to America, import and down, and all this type of stuff. They were dropping ticks length and breadth of America and Britain, millions of them. A bit like the mosquitoes, a bit like Bill Gates's GMO mosquitoes.
But the new ones, like a new little frenzy they've caused. And you don't know what's real or what's not real.
There was actually a Lyme jab a few years ago. About 20, 30 years ago, there was a Lyme.
They brought a new one out now, haven't they?
Yeah, I know they have. Yeah, they brought a new one out. But it's what do you think about the Iran stuff that's going on at the moment? What's your take on?
It's difficult, isn't it? I watched something the other day. Well, first of all, I think it's about Agenda 2030 because it pushes the cost of living up. It pushes up the cost of oil because all of a sudden, all our oil comes from there. I mean, we're not that far away from the North Sea, are we? An indefinite supply of oil, but now everything comes from there. And I think that it's ultimately designed to push Agenda 2030 so we don't travel as much. They can push up the cost of flights and obviously restrict our use of vehicles because we can't justify the extra cost for that weekend trip somewhere. And then in turn, the cost of living goes up because the transportation of the goods we're buying and the food we eat goes up. And I think as a net result of that, we end up probably making worse choices on what we eat, staying indoors a little bit more than we were. That business meeting might now be Zoom, so people are going to remote work even more than they were. I think it was just to do that. Yes, I think it also served as a distraction to the Epstein files, and that's why they launched this when they did. But I think it was coming anyway, but perhaps later on. And right now, it just seems like they're ramming us with things. That we almost an overload where people are sort of, people like us are spotting red flags everywhere. But for the public, maybe it's too much at one time because digital ID is now being reintroduced, isn't it? They've started that up. I thought we'd got away with that, and it's back again. Yeah, they're making it sound like it's easier to access certain things, like benefits, for example. If you've got it. So, I think it's Agenda 2030. And from what I saw, what's going on in the Middle East, in Dubai and around that area, the missiles that people have been following have been coming actually from Israel and not Iran at all.
Yes, yeah. And also I think that going back to our little story that me and Chris like talking about, the blade table, where they're all... There's several groups that sometimes work together within the world, wherever the world is. And then sometimes they work together like big corporates do. And sometimes they're fighting each other and standing on each other's throat and ready to stab each other in the back whenever they feel like it. And I actually think this part of the blade table has probably bitten off a little bit more than it expected from Iran. That's, I think, because they've never fought back, have they, Iran? Ever. Regardless of what anybody wants to think about, they've never actually fought back in a direct way.
And it's always that part of the world, isn't it, where all of the incredible architecture is, where the things that can't be explained. I mean, Iran's got the biggest pyramid in the world. Yeah. And it just seems that that whole area has been bombarded ever since, well, for as long as I can remember. And it seems like they're doing a bit of a, a kind of disposal job.
Cover up job.
Yeah, but at the same time, they can get rid of certain things. People are starting to question architecture a little bit more, and the dates of things, and who actually really built that. I don't believe the narrative. Well, let's just flatten it or make it a war zone. But with regard to your the people that run the show, have you heard of Chatham House? Yeah, look, that's kind of that's something I think people need to look into a little bit more, because it's a registered charity, but ultimately it is the Trilateral Commission, the Council on
foreign relations and everything.
Yeah, foreign relations, the Bilderberg Group. It's all really that's kind of like the headquarters, if you like. Well, that's the overriding.
You know who the Earl of Chatham was? William Pitt. And that was his house, Chatham House. And well, I did the research was that he was related to Jane Asher and etc. It was it's an interesting link, but and Pittsburgh was named after him, and all these other areas where you just take the name for granted, don't you? Going back to the history as well that you talk about. But
there's
just going back. Sorry. Go on.
I was just going to say, I actually put up a cartoon of Pitt yesterday with Napoleon. It's a cartoon from the 1800s where they've got the world as a globe in front of them, and they're carving it up between them at a table. Who's having what?
Right,
Pitt and Napoleon. Yeah,
and it doesn't stop, does it? That is, I mean, so you've got the guy that's carving the world up, who Chatham House is basically dedicated to, which should tell you something. Just going back to the oil. Britain's oil, we're just looking for a graph then that I downloaded. I'll have to dig it out at some other point. But we only get something like 3% of our energy from the UAE. We don't get it from anywhere else. All our energy, most of our energy comes from the States or from Norway. Even Nigeria and Libya give us more energy than the Arab states. So we shouldn't be in any problem, really.
No.
There shouldn't be any issue from a European point of view, because the majority of it comes from elsewhere. But I had a great perspective on it, though, by a guy called Richard Medhurst, who's an ex-UN. He was sort of a journalist, but he's a bit far out there. He goes into Palestine, into war zones, and gives a proper story on what's going on. And he was saying stuff like that we know already, that off the coast of Israel and Palestine and Gaza and Jordan and places like that, Syria, they all have massive oil deposits in the Mediterranean there, and so that's why they're flattening. That's why they're flattening Gaza. That's why the war next door to Israel is going on. Simply because they want control of all that. The Greater Israel is part of that, and they've been inserted there like a parasite, haven't they?
Yeah,
and we get a lot of shit for that, saying we're anti this and antiseptic or whatever the Rise Above lads call it. But the truth is in the pudding. The truth is that they're all Eastern Europeans that have been moved there. It don't worry me saying that. One thread that goes through all the book is all of them politicians in that book that were in 2020, just like America, are all part of conservative Friends of Israel, Labour Friends of Israel, some sort of NGO that's linked to Israel. I mean, any other country would not get away with that. Imagine if they were all sponsored by Iran.
Yeah.
But Iran's a terrorist state, Dom.
Oh, yeah. Funny, they're not flattening innocent children, are they?
It's a whole sovereign country where people just walking around with bomb vests on. Did you not know?
One fascinating aspect as well, Guy, is that
hairdresser got bumpers.
all of these people who are running this shit show in the Middle East are all related to like leading crusaders from going back to the crusading times, which sort of fits in with your cloning information as well, because if these people are coming back, you know, as different people with different names, but the genealogy goes right back to them people, and they're just enacting the same thing over and over again.
Yeah. And they get to just have another go, don't they, and try something else next time.
A free go though as well.
Pardon?
They get a free go. They don't even. There's no comeuppance. There's no penalties or anything like that.
Yeah, exactly right. Some people think they're immortal, but you know, and that's this obsession with adrenochrome, and you know.
Yeah.
Who knows? Would you be shocked? Would you be shocked if that's true, guy? Because I don't think I would be anymore.
I'm not shocked about anything anymore. Are you? Like, there's nothing they could do. I mean, all I'm waiting for now, and they've been.
I'm gonna have to show that picture again. Yeah.
Wasn't Trump going to release the alien files? Wasn't that the latest thing?
I thought it were the Epstein files or the Pfizer files or which are the files? The Rockford files. Yeah.
The Rockford files. Jim Rockford.
Yeah, Jim Rockford, man.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for the alien one my entire life.
Yeah.
But he did say, didn't he? And I know it was probably another distraction, but that was his latest thing. You know, now he's decided he's not prosecuting anybody that's been mentioned in the Epstein files, and we've moved on swiftly. You know, the alien thing. I mean, that's gonna pique people's interest.
Obama said there were aliens, didn't it? So then Trump had to react to it, which all looked very staged, didn't it, for whatever reason?
Yeah.
But, I mean, when would you have thought in your existence that like an ex-president would be coming out saying there is aliens, yes? But I got grabbed when I was a kid, you know, with all the conspiracy. It was all a conspiracy. But I think when I saw...
when you said you got grabbed as a kid, then I thought we were still talking about, you know, Barrack and Big Mike or Epstein or something. I don't know where this is going.
No, sorry. I meant I got grabbed by
counseling?
the alien story. I got grabbed by the alien story when I was a kid. But then I remember thinking when, like, what is it, Independence Day came out and stuff, and they went to Area 51. He thought, but that's supposed to be. And then you start thinking, hang on, this doesn't make any sense because it's all top secret conspiracy, and now it's in a massive Hollywood film. I don't understand, you know. So yeah, if it's in the Hollywood films, it's probably I don't know. They were selling it to us, weren't they? They've been selling us the alien story forever.
Yeah.
Whatever that may be, we don't know.
Telling us to look up.
Yes, that's what I think. I've always said that. I guess. Yeah, I reckon it's either down or to the side.
Yes, exactly.
Whatever those little ships are flying around, and I'm not saying they're aliens. Who knows? But I definitely think it's over there or down there, or under the sea even.
There's a lot of people would argue that it's coming from underwater, and that makes sense. I had this mad thought yesterday. It might not be that mad, but it suddenly dawned on me that is it possible that Atlantis was an alien civilization?
Right.
That they actually were alien, and that when it submerged, the area that we're talking about where it is now what we refer to as the Bermuda Triangle.
Right.
And it's still active. And that is why we get these anomalies when people fly or sail across this particular area when there's something active there.
I'm going to have to show you that there.
Oh, you're not getting that out again, Fat.
I have to.
Time you've got this.
No, I know it gets
3
me.
weeks in a row.
I know it gets me though. I just I find it funny. I just want Guy's opinion because why would you deny being a vampire? And that's what I find funny.
Yeah, well, a bit like Melania Trump.
You can always come up with your own images, Chris.
I'm just saying I don't look at this again.
You can always come up with your own images, Chris.
He was, wasn't he? Him and Musk were PayPal, weren't they?
Yeah, PayPal. Yeah, the PayPal mafia they called them, didn't they? Yeah.
Yeah, and is he now the man really behind wanting Greenland?
Well, he's Palantir, isn't it? Peter Thiel's behind Palantir, and he was in the early investor into Facebook.
Yes.
Anything CIA involved, Palantir was funded by the CIA's investment arm. I forget his name now, but yeah.
Someone put in the chat there that his name can become the reptile. Remember we said last week?
Yeah.
Oh.
With the I think they messaged me. I think it might be the same person.
Someone just put Pete Hitler. I thought that was a good one.
Pete Hitler, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But yeah, so I mean, but what about the language that's being used at the moment, right? The language, we're going to bomb them back to the Stone Age. We're going to obliterate them. We've decapitated them. We're going to end their civilization. When have you ever heard language like that from even Hitler didn't speak like that.
No, it's ridiculous, isn't it? And there have been a lot of troops complaining about high-ranking military officials giving speeches to them, saying that he is the prophecy and what they're doing is God's work. And they've actually fought back and said, we're not, some of them are different faiths, some of them are atheists. And they're saying, we didn't sign up to listen to this. You can't, you can't say things like that. And a couple of really senior US military officials have actually come out and said that he is the new Messiah. They've been saying that, and this isn't a conspiracy. This is, quite well documented that the troops have actually fought back and said they're not going to listen to this anymore. This is ridiculous because anybody who's done their own work knows that he's completely insane. I mean, he's a puppet, but he is completely insane, and that's why he's the best man for the job, isn't he? Because every single ounce of blame for everything that happens can be stuck on someone who is so thick-skinned and arrogant and narcissistic that it doesn't matter.
He's the man for the job, isn't he? He's been brought in for this.
He is perfect.
And who's that invert next to him?
The eyes are dark, aren't they?
Yeah.
What does that say?
DoorDash grandma.
Right.
I think DoorDash is like just eat over in America, isn't it? Oh,
is it?
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Oh, right. I get it.
So she's delivering the McDonald's. I mean, you've gone to White House.
She doesn't look very happy, does she?
No.
You could have chose who you wanted to deliver it, couldn't you?
Yeah. I wonder why she's mic'd up as well. Was she giving a speech with him or something?
I think she's big mic'd up.
Big Mike, yeah. Whatever happened to Big Mike? Don't see much of him anymore. Still see Barack around, but Big Mike's not. Do you know what I mean? Big Mike was out there.
Yeah.
Writing books and chatting.
Podcasting.
Tried a podcast, Remember that podcast?
Who's that child trafficker? Oprah Winfrey.
Yeah.
Chatting with her, and now he's gone really quiet, hasn't he? You don't see him, but Barack's still around. Or
maybe he's having his chest waxed. Or something.
Yes, that takes
back sack and crack for Big Mike.
He's a big lad, isn't he?
Back sack and
bloody triceps on him are incredible.
Yeah, I know. I wouldn't want to right look off that, would you?
No, you really wouldn't, would you?
Back sack and crack.
What he's clearly just quickly find out. He's clearly advertising McDonald's as well, isn't it? Over and over.
Oh yeah.
Well, there was that picture, wasn't it? Were they on a plane? Was it him?
Yeah, Bobby Kennedy was with him. Yeah.
It's even got the QR code there ready for you just to scan it. Look. Yeah. And what about that picture on the right? What's that?
That's because they're saying he's the Messiah, Chris.
But it's weird though, isn't it? Seeing Epstein with a goatee.
Yeah.
Is that Epstein?
No, it's not meant to be Epstein.
No,
but like
just
to
me.
It looks like
look at the birds, the pigeons, and that they're shaped like fighter jets.
Yeah, and the soldiers that are angels.
Oh, the doves or whatever they're meant to be.
The military angels. Yeah.
Has anybody seen the Lego videos that the Iranians are putting out?
No.
What? Look up the Lego videos. I don't know whether I better download it. I've had a few issues with.
Did he post that picture of him doing that? By the way, in them robes, is that a Trump? Did he post the picture? Or did someone else?
I don't think he did it, but he posted it.
I mean, bloody hell, that takes narcissism to another level. If you're posting pictures of yourself doing that,
but I've seen this image, the one on the right. I've seen that circulating on social media for the last few days everywhere, and it's a mixed bag. Some people say, "My God, have you seen this? He really is crazy," and other people saying, he is the savior, and it really is a mixed bag. I know, but I guess a lot of these people are, I don't want to say it, but I'm going to have to, aren't I? I think they're up to date with their boosters. Because but whenever anybody says to me, "Oh, why do you attack Trump? What's your problem with Trump?"
Yeah, you fucking mind.
Follow the money. Follow the money. Yeah. Do you not look at? Forget the Epstein files for a moment. Look at who bails him out. And I mean, he took a successful business, ran it into the bloody ground. The Rothschilds bailed him out. Runs it into the ground again. The Rothschilds bail him out. And then 5 minutes later, he's he's a celebrity on TV when he's not doing strange things with children, or buying his wife from Jeff. He's he's The Apprentice, isn't he? He's on The Apprentice. This is basically a reality TV show presenter that is now the president. And I'd have thought, didn't you learn from having a cowboy?
So the Iranians have been pushing out all these Lego videos of basically taking the piss out of Trump and Netanyahu. They're hilarious, man, because they're calling him obviously president business from the Lego movies. If they've got kids and watched that, and and I always thought when he came into power that president business was meant to be Donald Trump.
I haven't seen this, and
I've not seen it. Yeah, I have not seen it. I've got it saved to watch actually, because I think you mentioned that years ago.
No, we're on about. I think you're guys on about these videos here that they're pushing out. You're on about the Lego movie, aren't you, Chris?
Yeah, I have not watched it.
Yeah,
I want to watch it. Yeah, but I think you mentioned ages ago that he was Trump in that. Film.
I can't believe I haven't seen this before.
There's loads of them. Honestly, they've done loads. They keep releasing them nearly every day. These Lego movies of Trump just taking the piss.
And these are coming straight out of Iran?
Straight out of Iran's propaganda.
Bloody hell. I mean, to be fair, they're pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, they're very good.
No, I have like going Iran because it's a terrorist state.
Yeah.
Just go around going each
other. So there's loads of them that basically taking the piss. There were ones with like Jeffrey Epstein in them and stuff like that. They're just taking the piss out of them.
I'm going to have to jump on those.
You know somewhere somebody's watching them in America and thinking, you bastards. Because they're so close to the bone. They even had the schoolgirls that they murdered in that school where they dropped the first bombs on. They even had videos of all the things that America's done in like the last 70 years, like Vietnam, things like that, where they've killed thousands of people, and saying that Iran are fighting for all these people. Fucking clever propaganda. Very clever propaganda. Where they also had the backpacks, the backpacks of the little girls. They're using them with the shoes and stuff like that. And using the shoes as well, by the way. Yeah, with the bloodstains on from the school. Whether they're original ones, it doesn't matter, but they're certainly signifying that. Anyway,
that's what people don't think about, though, isn't it? The fact that if you look at what is being bombed, it's always kids. I mean, that's the Gaza Strip. I think the average age on the Gaza Strip's 14, but out in Iran, it's schools they've been hitting. Yeah. So, at what point is that acceptable? Even if you're fast asleep and you're a huge Trump supporter, why do people think it's acceptable to kill other people, regardless of their views or who's upset with who, or when did that become okay? And if he's if Trump wants to be seen as Jesus, well, then he should have a look at the 10th commandment a bit closer. Thou shalt not kill.
And how arrogant is it?
Hypocrisy is ridiculous.
And how arrogant is it to think that your country is looked after by a supreme being of some kind? I mean, it wouldn't make if you think about it on a spiritual level, it doesn't make any sense that you'd be just obsessed with America, God save America, or England, or anywhere. But Chris, that shouldn't matter, should it? It wouldn't matter, would it?
No matter what we think of Tony Blair and George Bush and all these other people, Obama. When have you heard of an American president telling you how fantastic he is? I'm going to be the best American president ever. Or when did you ever hear any president saying that nonsense, talking like that? I should get a Nobel Peace Prize. You know,
Yeah.
he's actually said that, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Someone should give me theirs.
He
He
actually
did say
comes
that, yeah.
across. If you think about how they've painted Kim Jong-un in North Korea, the West has painted him in exactly the same way in which Trump is presenting himself.
Yeah.
And and I personally think the only reason North Korea are treated the way they are and considered to be this sort of backward nation that are so far detached from us and so primitive compared to the West is because they appear to be one of the few countries that won't, kneel to the West and cave in. And look at what they did to South Korea. It just looks like an American, Seoul just looks like New York. North Korea says, no, we're not going to take the knee for the West. And so for here on, you're going to be treated as some sort of third world country and blah, blah. But what if they're actually protecting themselves from the West? And, and it's all just propaganda. We're not seeing the truth.
I think we keep saying we're the bad guys, aren't we? Well, not us in general, but the actual states that we live under. They're the bad ones. They're the ones that have been spreading death around the world for centuries, not just a few years.
The British Empire were bloody good at that.
Yeah.
Was North Korea part of the Axis of Evil? I can't remember. Oh, Baby Bush's Axis of Evil. I think they were on it, weren't they?
The Axis of Evil.
I think they were the last ones on the Axis of Evil when he named all them countries. They've all been gone now.
Evil.
I think that's the last one. Yeah. So maybe North Korea are going to get it next. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've got a video to play of Palantir here talking to Peter Thiel about their system. And it is about 2.5 minutes long, but it's at the end where it really shows you what it's about.
This is Maven Smart System, Palantir's software as a service product that we are deploying across the entire department. As you can see, it's not just one data feed, it's multiple. And instead of having 8 or 9 systems for those decision makers to look at every single day in order for them to make decisions, you then fuse it into a single visualization tool. The single visualization tool allows you to select, deselect different types of data, look at different approaches to data, but more importantly, action from the same system that you're trying to develop your workflows around. Once you have a detection that you want to actually move into a targeting workflow, for example, this is what we do. Left click, right click, left click, magically, it becomes a detection. That detection then gets moved into a workflow. This is standard digitized workflow, but I want to walk you through it quickly. You have different types of targets that are identified on the left there. Every single column produces a different type of decision-making process. Once you have that decision and you're trying to actually action that process, we now move into COA generation, course of action generation, where we are automatically, via a number of factors, trying to identify what the best asset to prosecute a target looks like. Once we've got the different approaches and we select one, we then can move directly into how do we action that target. So we've gone from identifying the target to now coming up with a course of action to now actioning that target, all from one system. This is revolutionary. We were having this done in about 8 or 9 systems where humans were literally moving detections left and right in order to get to our desired end state, in this case, actually closing a kill chain.
Closing a kill chain.
What does that mean, for closing a kill chain?
Basically, what he was saying there, you could use it for friendly means, if you like, just surveilling people. But if you've got a target, you could then follow it. And using a simple workflow, Chris, you could close a kill chain, basically blow them up. And that's the system they used on that school. An AI-generated, self-thinking, programmed computer that actually follows you around. Now, when people, I mean, it's a question I ask: how much data do they need to collect on an individual to know their movements? Because let's face it, we've just spoke about where you live and what you do in a week and what I do in a week and what have you. We're not that difficult to follow around, are we? So, how much actual data do they need to know that you might, like, I don't know, cornflakes for your breakfast every day.
Well, also, Dom, especially when we're all carrying a tracking device around with us.
Exactly. So it gets to a point where you think, well, is that the data they're actually collecting, or is it actually electronic biological data for some reason that they're monitoring? Because they don't need to know you're eating baked beans every day, do they? Or where you're going to gym at 6 o'clock in the morning, or you're going to work at 9, or whatever it might be.
That coupled with a tracking device in your bloodstream.
Yeah, that's what we're getting at. I mean, these targets here are the honing in. You know, there's a guy that we think might be anti-state, if you like. We'll follow him round, and if we think he's a target, this is the company, Chris, that mad bastard who kept jumping up and down.
Yeah.
Alex Karp, is it? Have you seen him? Shall I play in that video, Chris?
Yeah.
Am I allowed to?
Yeah, I don't mind that one. Just quickly though, did you not think at the time that exploding pages story was a bit suspect? Do you remember that story?
Yeah. That was Israelis, wasn't it?
But if they're tracking them like
Hezbollah.
that, I always thought it was possibly some kind of drone experiment. Those mini drones. Do you remember seeing them years ago?
The fly drone type thing.
Can just blow up next to them. Yeah. But who has a pager? I ain't seen a pager since the 80s.
Well, they were using them. The reason we're using them is because of that very reason. Because the technology was that old, nobody thought anybody were using it anymore. So Hezbollah were using it to contact each other. Yeah, because it were difficult to monitor.
Right.
I always got you were a beeper or a text message. Yeah.
I always thought maybe it was some experimental drone murder.
Well, it was certainly experimental, Chris. Because what happened? What happened? They put an explosive charge in the company that were manufacturing them.
Right.
That's what.
Look at this smug twat in his suit as well.
I know.
Talking about
really
murder chains.
Well, it was Mike Williams, wasn't it? We played this to. Not this video, but it's Alex Karp. But he actually summed it up, didn't he? He said that there is what evil is. That is evil. It said with a nice suit or a smile.
Yeah.
That is evil. When you're looking for what evil is, he can sell that in a board meeting that basically wipes Gaza out, if you like, and then they'll go on to move on to the next thing.
He's basically selling you a more convenient way of murdering people than dropping soldiers on them.
Absolutely. And the shareholders will be happy.
Yeah, they'll get an applause at the end of that.
Peter Thiel's been funding Blair as well, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's pumped quite a lot of money into Blair.
Larry Ellison is the biggest funder. Ellison, Oracle. Larry Ellison's the biggest funder of the IDF in the world, or individual funder of the IDF. Let's play this Alex Karp. Tell me if you don't want to smack this guy in the head.
As always, we have a lot of individual investors on the line. Is there anything you'd like to say before we go?
Oh, dear.
We're doing it. We're doing it. And I'm sure you're enjoying this as much as I am. Let's not talk to analysts about the burden of being right, our burdens of investing in ontology, our burdens of actually looking at the math, the burden of reading what the Rule of 40 is, the burden of being honest about what an enterprise software company is, or the burden of explaining to your friends that you're really happy. Maybe we should just stop talking about it. I'm very happy to have you along for the journey, and you are partners for us. Every Palantirian, we are crushing it. Everyone else who's listening, we are dedicating our company. We have dedicated our company to the service of the West and the United States of America, and we're super proud of the role we play, especially in places we can't talk about. And we love our success in the U.S. and globally. Also, we are doing in the United Kingdom and many other places. Palantir is here to disrupt and make the institutions we partner with the very best in the world, and when it's necessary, to scare enemies and on occasion kill them. And we hope you're in favor of that. We hope you're enjoying being a partner, and we're really happy and very, very focused on what we're doing. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. That concludes Q&A for today's call.
Q&A?
What Q&A?
How disturbing is that?
Yeah. And if you listen to him talk, he talks in the same way Trump does. You know, it's the same language.
Going to be murdered by geeks, aren't we?
I just wanted to shave his head.
Yeah. But do you think he's?
Yeah,
Do you think he's real and smart, or do you think he's a character like Elon Musk?
He's got to be a character, hasn't he? There's no intelligence going on there.
He looked like he was playing a character, didn't he? But he looked like he could be a James Bond baddie,
serial killer,
Batman baddie. Could be, yeah. You know that in the James Bond film when the bad guy is like a media mogul or whatever, and then it turns out he's up to. But they're not even pretending to be good guys anymore.
No,
it's Revenge of the Geeks, isn't it, Chris? It's Revenge of the Geeks in a way that you think they're. If you looked at them people around the table, all of them looked like they had some kind of, let's say, mental hurdles to get over.
And they looked like interns, didn't they? None of them looked like they'd actually, been around the block a few times and experienced the world.
Yeah, just put there to nod and agree with him.
But the way he said that, and occasionally kill people, that's what he said, didn't he? And occasionally kill people.
But that's like he's been playing Grand Theft Auto. We occasionally kill people, but it's just a game.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to see his internet browser history, would you?
Not particularly, no.
It's amazing when you think that. Sorry, go on.
Go on.
No, I'm going to say it's amazing when you think if you put him next to the supposed bad guys of history, Stalin, Hitler, Mussolini, and all that lot, and you just see how it's become this, like a palatable dictatorship, or where they can just do whatever they want, and it doesn't matter. There's going to be no outcome for them. I mean, what these people have done is it worse than what Hitler did when he went into Poland?
It's a lot worse than any war, Chris, that these people are doing. Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, all of these firms are part of this security state that they're setting up. This what Guy were talking about earlier, where the Iran war probably will be used to say we'll make you more secure, or the pound's going to crash, so you're going to have to use this new currency that we're developing. You have to swap your old pounds for this new digital pound, whatever it might be.
This is technocracy everyone's talked about, isn't it?
Yes. All of our printing ink comes from Iran now, so we can't make any more banknotes.
We never voted for this company. Why is a company got that right to kill people occasionally?
Well, so they've got the right to kill people, Chris, and mixed in with that, they're looking after the NHS's data. So what I'm trying to say is exactly, yeah.
And they've got
the contract. They've got the contract to look after all the data of, like in America. They've signed the contract. They signed it at the White House. Peter Thiel signed it at the White House. I mean, Peter Thiel. I mentioned this before. Not only is he denying
not a vampire,
yeah, not a vampire, but he is a Bilderberger. He's a Bilderberger for the last 20 years. Is Peter Thiel?
But even then, how does a company that's murdering people on occasion, how do they get in charge of NHS? What relevance is there?
Yeah,
because it's a security thing, isn't it? What I'm trying to say is everything is now classed as whether it's water, whether it's any essential requirement, it's classed as a security measure.
Look at him there without the volume. I mean, that just looks like somebody that's on a ward.
Having a breakdown,
doesn't it?
Yeah, we'll Carpy out and put him in here, and then we'll see how he's reacting with these psychologists.
Absolutely, he's ridiculous.
I'm not violent, but you kind of want to nut him, don't you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But he looks like Willy Wonka or someone like that, doesn't he?
Yeah,
he does. That type of character
Doc from Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Joker.
Yeah,
bit of Riddler, bit of a Batman baddie thrown in there.
Yeah, it could be Joker.
Look at the state of him, how he's dressed and his hair. That, what's that about?
Someone somewhere knows on a psychological level what they're up to here by willing
absolutely,
that creep out.
Absolutely. But you don't present yourself like that, do you? In his position, you don't come out wearing a white t-shirt with your hair all over the place, and he doesn't exactly sound intelligent either. So what is going on here? I mean, a lot of the time he doesn't even appear to have any teeth. What's going on?
You're right that they all did.
What are we seeing?
I don't know.
You know.
You're right that they do look like interns.
Yeah, it just
They look awkward
but
and
it
weird,
is, isn't
doesn't
it? That the world really is a stage, isn't it? We're constantly watching another blockbuster, aren't we? Another Hollywood movie or a TV show, and it's just getting more obvious all the time, isn't it?
Well, the characters are getting more. I mean, we keep joking. It's like RoboCop, you know. The humor in there where it wasn't humor, and they had that guy on the camera on the TV all the time going, "I buy that for $1," and everyone will laugh, burst out laughing, and it wasn't even funny. It is like that. You're watching these idiots on TV that are basically killing people in front of your eyes, like Netanyahu and Trump and all these other people, and everyone's going, "Well, it ain't that bad, really, is it?" You know, because Iran are a terrorist state. All right.
I've heard so many people say that line. It's like, what?
It's like, what are you? You're as insane as they are.
Yeah. So when is it that Iran have been posed a threat to the US or Britain or anywhere in Europe? When was that?
Well, it's a very similar threat to.
That.
It's a very similar threat to Iraq, if you remember, Guy.
Yes.
Rumors of weapons and mass destruction.
Yeah.
Preemptive. That's the world we're in now. Preemptive jibby jabs. Preemptive strikes. Yeah. We've got to stop anything before it happens. Which usually means.
So if you look at their value, it's 300 billion. Yeah. I'm just going to try and find what the value was pre 2020. Well, you can see. I'll put this on. Actually, this is even better. And he could have done. He could
have done better than a Primark white T-shirt, couldn't he? If he's got all that money.
Exactly. So what's that about? That he's wearing that for a reason, isn't he? It's all for a reason.
Yeah, maybe like you said, Guy, because it made him look like he was in an asylum. You know,
maybe
you think
right,
of one flew over Cuckoo's Nest. They're all wearing white shirts like that, and they wear white T-shirts.
He just looked like some mad bloke rambling, didn't he? Without the volume on. I mean, to be fair, when the volume was up, he sounded worse.
Yeah. And occasionally we kill people. Nice. And you're looking after NHS, are you? Yeah. So there you go. This is where they started in 2019.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So from 50 billion up to the highest of $450 billion in value on the stock market since 2019. And I've gone through a lot of companies. Business interests me because I think there are a lot of signs within these type of things. What companies are growing at that rate? You know, if you look at Amazon and Tesla and all these other companies that grew, that never make any money. They don't make money, but yet they're funded with billions of dollars and have got valuations of hundreds of billions of dollars, and they don't make money. They just put into control culture, your environment.
Yes.
But they put in and they get the contracts worldwide. How the fuck does that work? And there's so many of these companies like this. I remember looking at Rishi Sunak's father-in-law's business, Emphasis. Rishi Sunak's father-in-law's nickname is the Bill Gates of India. So he owns a technology business. Well, he started it with a friend, Emphasis, and that business that is a similar sort of graph. It's not worth as much as this company, but the similar sort of graph. And they've got NHS contracts worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Rishi Sunak's father-in-law's business.
How can it be that corrupt and that obvious? It's unbelievable.
But the thing is, what can we do about it? We
that's it.
And we can't do anything about it, and that's the problem, isn't it? And that's I think it's small things that we can do, but whether or not enough people get behind them and have an impact, I don't know. But the first thing I would do is say we don't support any companies or businesses that are part of the World Economic Forum, for example. There's just one thing that you can do. Well, I won't buy from that company. I won't use that supermarket. I won't go to Starbucks anymore. I'll go somewhere, and actually hit them where it hurts. So if we stop financing and supporting these companies, then that's that. If we can't stop it from happening, we can stop giving them our money.
It's actually, if you think about these corporations, I'd use Coca-Cola as a prime example. If in this country alone, if 10 million people stop drinking Coca-Cola tomorrow, right, that would change shit in Coca-Cola, right? Just in this country, right? That's just one corporation. If 10 million people stop watching BBC, that would have a massive impact. The downside is there aren't 10 million people who are awake.
That's the problem we've got. And you've also got people who have become a little bit fed up with it all, I think. And
jaded.
There are a lot of people that have become sort of lethargic to it. And if you said to them, well, don't go to Tesco's anymore because Tesco's are a problem, go to Morrison's instead, just for example. I mean, I don't go to either, but just as an example, they might say, well, that's 5 minutes further up the road, or I've got to drive for another 10 minutes to get there. And we've become so lazy. We're so now, the lockdown did this, didn't it? We're so used to things coming to our door that if we are going to go out and get something like food, something really important, we don't want to go too far to do it or do too much that's going to cause an inconvenience to us. Why? So we can get back and carry on doom scrolling. Because that's it, isn't it? I hear all the time people say, oh, I don't have time to read, just for an example. But you spend all day on Facebook. So you do have time to read, you just don't spend your time how we used to, or perhaps in the best way. Or I don't have time to cook, so I get my food delivered. You're waiting longer for your food to be delivered than it would have took to cook it. What are you doing during that time? You're scrolling again. And I think that this has been forced upon people, but getting like Dom said, getting 10 million people to say Monday morning we're going to boycott Tesco's, McDonald's, BP would be a good one. We're going to boycott one of these companies, or we're all going to remove our bank accounts from HSBC, which would be another good example. We're no longer going to bank with them. We're going to move to a different provider. But people will think, well, I can't be bothered.
Can't be asked. It's too much like hard work.
Yeah, and that could take me an hour to do that, which means that's an hour less on TikTok.
But so what happens is Rishi Sunak's father-in-law's business gets a 1.2 billion deal in 2025.
15-year contract.
His wife, whatever, I think her dad's worth something like 2 billion. They're all funders of her dad was one of he actually chaired the World Economic Forum for a while, her dad. So these people are ingrained. And then Rishi Sunak, Prime Minister, to the Bill, and he's son-in-law of the Bill Gates of fucking India. And Bill Gates of India's business partner set up the first national ID card called Agartha in India, where more or less the entire population of India have got an ID card to get.
They actually pulled it off over there, didn't they? They actually pulled it off over there, didn't they?
Yeah, they pulled it off. Yeah, big time.
And this is how it works, isn't it? And people can, hopefully people can see this, that Rishi Sunak didn't become prime minister through people voting or anyone's decision. That we are aware of. He was put in power by these people. It's these people that put prime ministers and world leaders in place. It's not the polling station that determines that outcome. Oh God, not these two pieces of shit.
Yeah. So I mean, but
who's that guy on the right? I don't know who that is.
That's his son.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
Is that him?
Ewan.
Right. I've never seen a picture.
Yeah, Ewan Blair. That he really is the Antichrist. That man.
Fucking hell, he looks evil.
Look at him. I know.
It's disgusting, isn't it?
Imagine having that as your father.
That skeleton. Do you think that's Star Wars Sith level, the evil showing on his face?
Absolutely.
I'm not joking, though. I'm not joking. I'm being totally serious.
I'm laughing because I know you're being serious, and I'm being serious as well.
It is, though, isn't it? It really is.
when you think of politicians as well, though, when they get in, they do start to deteriorate very rapidly, don't they?
Yeah.
And he did, and so did Obama.
It's
I
like Bill
remember.
Hicks used to say they show them the reels as a Zapruder film, don't they?
Yeah. And look at fucking. I mean, just looking at his eyes, to his mouth, to his expression. There's a million things going on there, isn't there? You know.
Yeah. He really is a vile piece of shit.
He's got 7 chapters in my book as Tony Blair.
I need to screenshot that and do a picture of that one.
Yeah, it'd be a good one, that, Chris. I'll send you a picture over.
Yeah.
And why doesn't he just go away? You know?
And who listens to him?
But you know, and Trump's put him on his peace committee, hasn't he? This new peace board that he's put.
Do you know the irony is,
Blair straight on there.
How many people do you have to kill to get on the peace board?
Yeah, exactly. And he's got his. Have you seen his One World Faith Foundation? The Blair. Yeah. He wants his own religion, doesn't he? That's his other thing. He's got bankrolling. He's got people chucking money at that, millions of pounds going into that. And you just thought, what? Well, you know, once he came out of office and what was it, Gordon Brown, wasn't it, replaced him? Why didn't he just disappear like the rest of them do? Why does this man stay there? You know, he's still influencing so many things. I mean, he's heavily into the Fabians, isn't he? And he's just still there. No one else have they? If you look at it.
Yeah, where's Gordon Brown?
Yeah.
They all disappear into the background, and you see them on, you know, a breakfast show on Sunday morning, chatting with, you know,
some knobhead.
Whatever I don't know who the hosts are. I've watched TV for a long time, but you know what I mean. They're normally, that's what we would see, wouldn't we, on the sofa on a Sunday, chatting over the papers. Blair is still very much pulling the strings.
He doesn't look quite as evil as his dad yet, does he?
No, not yet.
A few more years on him.
I mean, who does he look like? He doesn't look like his mum either.
No,
he didn't look like anyone, does he?
Well, the thing is, I don't want to spoil it when people read the book, really, because I'm not on about his kids, but she was apparently when both Sherry and Tony were in were training to be lawyers. They have to go into these like Lincoln's Inn, don't they? I forget which one it was, and it was a guy called Derry.
Lincoln's Inn, bloody hell.
Yeah. The irony is they were in Lincoln's Inn. How mad is this, Chris? I forgot to tell you this. So Sherry Booth, right? Her father says the family's story is that they're related to John Wilkes Booth, who shot President Lincoln.
Yeah,
and both of them were in the Lincoln's Inn as lawyers. Training to be lawyers.
What's Lincoln's Inn? Sorry,
it's in London. It's
it's a Masonic lodge. It's like a Masonic lodge, isn't it? It's similar to.
Well, I've got something to tell you. That's where my lodge used to meet before it moved to Great Queen Street. Yeah, I know it well.
Yeah, a lot of famous people trained at Lincoln's Inn, and a guy who was running it, Derry, I forget his name now. Derry Irvine, that's what he's called. He was running it, and Sherry Booth was apparently having an affair with him at the time while they were training, before she met Tony. And when you hear Tony Blair talking about her when they first met when he was younger, it's a weird conversation. Like she was a handler. In fact, I would say she was some kind of handler of Tony Blair's. I mean, that'd be a right job, that, wouldn't it? Can you remember that program that was out, the Black Doves, were it, that had all them women who were trained to handle male politicians? I never watched it.
No, I never saw that.
But I got a gist of it. It was a few years ago. And they had all these, I think it was Keira Knightley, is she called? That actress?
Yeah, Keira Knightley, yeah.
They had all these women who were training to be, like, they were assassins, basically. But they were also trained to keep their husbands in check, who were in powerful positions. A bit like what they're talking about, the Epstein files, with Melania Trump or whatever she's called. She was brought over from Eastern Europe by a modelling agency. And this guy were bringing loads of these models over and marrying them off to influential millionaires, billionaire type characters. So this guy here is the guy that trained Tony Blair, although he never passed through being a lawyer. But can you remember the two fat ladies, the cooks?
Yeah.
Yes.
Clarissa. She's got the longest name. I'm not even going to try and pronounce. She had about 20 names in her name. Anyway, long story. She was being trained at the same time, and she told the story in The Spectator that they used to call Tony Miranda, and the woman in the paper who was interviewing her, who's ironically Dominic Cummings' wife, right, Mary Wakefield. Anyway, that's another story. She said, "Why were they called Miranda?" And she said it was because everyone called him Miranda because he liked the T-boys better than the girls. That's why I got nicknamed Miranda.
Bloody hell.
So anyway, yeah, this guy here, I mean, all of his friends, right, were part of the Scottish, they were part of the intelligence agency. When you look back at who he went to university with, who his close friends were, they all went into Scottish politics anyway. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, I'm just looking, and they've always got the PCKC, haven't they? They've always got the KC.
Yeah. Do you know what you find? I would say most of the politicians have got the KC or QC as it was when the Queen was alive.
Yeah, the Queen's Council, yeah.
Yeah. And they all pass through these ancient
Starmer and
Starmer, yeah, he's another one.
He was Queen's Counsel, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And wasn't he was head of the
Ed Queen.
yeah, Crown Prosecution, wasn't he?
But yeah, these characters behind the scenes who seem to either manipulate or they train these people and then pass them on to someone else. Boris Johnson, it were Max Hastings, seemed to be one of his handler type characters who kept getting him jobs, even though he got sacked from them. He kept getting him jobs. He's a historian, Max Hastings. He writes about World War II, pushes the agenda or whatever the World War II. I used to read his books when I was younger. But yeah, interesting characters. So just to finish up, because otherwise we'll be on all night, won't we? Well, one of the interesting stories that we've been following recently with some of the genealogy research that we've been presenting with me and Chris and Mike Williams and Matt Sergio and Mark's book, No One's Dad's a Plumber. And it even fits into some of your work as well, the historical stuff, where a lot of these people that are acting, I did a presentation, or I wrote a presentation, me and Chris presented it, called Assassin's Creed, where I found out that a lot of these famous people were related to serial killers or assassins or MI or intelligence assets that were basically like the what they call the drummer from the Police. I forgot his name now. Stephen Copeland.
Stuart.
Yeah, the famous one's his father, Miles Copeland, who was not just CIA, he was the head of station for the Middle East. And he carried out coups and assassinations and things like this. And he was a pretty evil-looking guy, wasn't he, Chris? And so Stuart Copeland was the drummer of the Police then. And so that started me thinking, I wonder how many more of these people are like that. And then I found out Taylor Swift's a cousin of Jeffrey Dahmer. I think it was Kevin Bacon is a cousin of the guy that shot Lennon. So a lot of these people were cousins of these Manchurian-type candidates. Yeah. So we found loads of them, didn't we, Chris? It were him who got me going on it, because what happened was he got me going on the was it Nolan, the Nolan brothers?
Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, Christopher Nolan, the Nolan brothers. And their other brother, there's two Nolan brothers that are famous for TV and film. And they're both making... Jonathan Nolan. They were both making apocalyptic nuclear bomb dropping.
Oh, no, basically, is it Jonathan Nolan? It is Jonathan Nolan.
Yeah.
He made Westworld, and then he wrote Fallout, which is it's based on a video game on a apocalyptic future. At the very same time that Oppenheimer came out, so you had these two films portraying basically nuclear war, didn't you? Through two different angles. So you had the highbrow version, then you had the more schlocky video game based version. But they were both basically selling the nuclear story, weren't they? Literally at the same time. And then Dom found out. Obviously them two were related. But then go on, Dom.
Well, the reason we got into it was one of Christopher Nolan's best friends, the set designer, was
Crowley. He was a Crowley.
He was a Crowley, a nephew of Alistair Crowley, who did all the set design. Okay, and we'd found out previously that Boris Johnson's advisor was also a Crowley, Alex Crowley, and he was a nephew of Alistair Crowley. I mean, it was pretty mind blowing stuff that because. We all know Alistair Crowley, but all of a sudden, the spawn of Crowley, if you like, is infiltrating the background of all these Hollywood blockbusters. And getting Boris Johnson, he actually showed off that he got Boris Johnson into power as mayor and prime minister, and David Cameron.
Yeah, a bit Huxley-esque, isn't it? Fine.
Bit Huxley-esque, yeah.
Huxley's.
So what we found with the Nolan brothers is their third brother was actually an assassin.
Oh.
They kept quiet, and he was actually wanted on charges in Costa Rica for assassinating someone.
Bloody hell.
And so all these people are all interrelated with this bloodline, serial killer bloodline, if you like, the Assassin's Creed bloodline.
Yeah, but Dom, don't forget the punchline. Christopher Nolan's brother, who's an assassin. What year was it, Dom? Was it 2004?
2003. 2003. He used a pseudonym called, I think he was called Matthew. It was called Matthew. So he had a pseudonym and he called himself Matthew Oppenheimer. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and 20 years later, his brother makes Oppenheimer. That was his cover name, Matthew Oppenheimer.
Maybe they're related to Oppenheimer.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the image there with the Pope and Madonna.
Yeah.
And it says there, I can't. It's quite small, but I think it says that they're clashing over her use of religious imagery.
Yeah.
But the way she's dressed, clearly it's satanic.
Yeah.
They're both batting for the same side, aren't they?
But where he's dressed is satanic, I would say. I mean, look, who would carry if you were a supporter of Jesus? Why would you carry that cross around with you with it? I mean, that's quite nasty looking to me.
Fish head hat.
All of these people are cousins, though. So she's a cousin of the Pope, and
isn't she a cousin of the Queen as well?
Yes.
Well,
what got me was
whatever.
A lot of the people that are appearing in these films, like I found Tom Hanks had appeared as this guy here, Fred Rogers, wherever he were called, and Disney, and he's a cousin of both of them, and he's now going to make another film of Abraham Lincoln, and his great grandma Nancy Hanks was the mother of Abraham Lincoln, and it's like what the fuck's happening here? But all of a sudden, Guy, all of these stories are appearing in newspapers, like after Mark's book, No One's Dad's a Plumber, all these presentations that we keep pumping out over time. And the question is, I suppose, to you, do you think that people are taking note of what research we're actually doing?
I do.
Not me in particular. I'm on about everybody.
No, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. Yeah. I think so too. I keep seeing information in places that I wasn't expecting to find it, and you could put it down to the algorithms to an extent, but it's not. It's getting more and more widespread, isn't it? And people are starting to wake up. But also there is the possibility that there are some people now infiltrating within the media that are helping get the information out.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
You know, I do think that there are people out there that
there has to be
very high ranking, in government, in within the think tanks, and within the mainstream media that are now trying to expose things. And I think that was what was behind Jim Carrey, just for example. Was he wearing a mask? Was it just a doppelganger, or was this a very badly produced clone? Because the mannerisms were completely different. He doesn't talk like that. He'd shunned Hollywood. He'd shunned red carpet events. That Jim Carrey would not have attended something like that. If you just think about him as a person, forget what he looks like. and then he was signing autographs with his opposite hand. So he changed from, you know, left-handed to right-handed. You know, his face had changed completely. His mannerisms had changed, but he himself, his message, who he was, the things he stood for, had completely been removed. So I think that was somebody somewhere doing a bit of a bad job, so we would sit back and say, hold on a moment, that's not him. And even if you're not on board with cloning, you're going to start thinking, well, that isn't him. Of course, you're going to get the people that are fully up to date with their jabs and go vote, and you know, and the BBC would never lie to me, that will say, well, he's just had bad cosmetic surgery. But that doesn't change your mannerisms. It doesn't change the things you're passionate about talking and your beliefs. And you don't change the hand that you sign autographs with. That doesn't happen in an operating theatre.
And let's face it, he went through some quite stressful. Did his girlfriend die of mysterious daughter? Died mysteriously as well, not just.
His daughter died. Was it a car accident? Wasn't it?
Yeah, and his girlfriend died a few years ago as well.
Sorry. Right, yeah. I was going to say literally. Very recently.
So would he be out on a red carpet? Possibly not, unless he's. And in fairness, that didn't look like him, regardless of plastic surgery. Because
no, it didn't look like it, and he wasn't. You know, he was saying, you know, he'd been saying for some time he wasn't going to attend these things anymore. It was a joke. We shouldn't be celebrating this sort of stuff. Yeah. And the last time he was interviewed in an award ceremony, he actually said this is he. The only reason he came was because he was looking for the most pointless thing he could possibly do this evening. And
I remember that. Yeah. And also he's I don't know which ex-girlfriend it was, but he went anti-jib job, didn't he? Because she said he had been damaged by And then all of a sudden, I mean, he was on a road to stardom, and then all of a sudden he was in Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
Well, you can't question the narrative. I mean, look at again. We keep talking about, say, Robert De Niro, Chris. I mean,
he was out the other day, wasn't he? Yeah, anti-Trump.
Yeah,
was it?
Yeah, but he questioned the jabberoonie, and then we're advertising Warburton's bread.
And Kia cars, but I've got a Kia car.
You got a Kia Starmer?
A Kia Starmer car.
I've got a Kia. Oh God, yeah. Oh, what'd you have to say that for?
No, sorry. The only car not to own is a Tesla, isn't it? Because you are somewhere indirectly you're funding.
Have you got a Tesla guy?
Musk.
Have you got a Tesla guy? Have you got a Tesla?
No.
No, I just said no.
No, because somewhere in the mither of everything, I heard someone say you had a Tesla.
No, I don't have a car.
Right. Where did that come from then? Why did someone?
I don't know.
On some Instagram post or or one of your videos I watched, someone said you had a Tesla.
No,
I'm not slagging off anyone who's got a Tesla, by the way. I'm just saying. I thought I was quite surprised at the time.
My wife, I used my wife's car. When we had before we moved to the sheep farm in the middle of nowhere, we had an art gallery and a tattoo studio in a town called Tiverton, and I lived 200 yards away, and I had a BMW, a 4 Series, and it was just sat there, and it didn't move for literally 6 months. It didn't move, so it was lease hire. So I sent it back because it was costing me £435 a month to have it sat in a car park around just in my house. Yeah, because I lived on a main road, so we had a car park around the back, so I didn't even see it for sometimes. I didn't see it for days. So I just thought this is ridiculous. So I just got rid of it, and now I use my wife's car. And because we got a little dog, we're in the middle of nowhere. She's a support worker for vulnerable kids, so she goes away for 48 hours at a time. I'm left here with no car, but I get on and write. And then when she gets back, I use the car if we've got to talk. And we just found that we don't need 2 cars. But when we move, we're going to move. When we move, I'm going to get an old Jag. I did have one before. The Arthur Daly cigar.
A proper gas guzzler. Yeah.
Yeah, I love them. I had a really lovely one years ago. It was what you'd call a shitter. I mean, it was mint, but it was a $2,000 car 10 years ago, so it wasn't. But now they're, if you get a decent one, they're a little bit more money. But it was one of the last Jags that they made by hand in Britain, and I'm just going to get one of those. But now I had a motorbike, and I had it was a replica of the bike, James, that his name's completely gone. Steve McQueen rode in The Great Escape. I had a replica of that.
All right, when he jumped over the fence.
Yeah, when he went to the barbed wire. Yeah, I had a replica of that, and I had a Beamer, and no, they both went. They were.
But what
just
an
doing
odd
nothing.
phenomenon that someone's put that into the lexicon. I mean, not that I give a shit if you've got a Tesla or not, whatever. But just a
I'd
weird
never
thing
owned
in
a
it.
Tesla.
Well, yeah, I didn't think so, but what a weird thing for someone to put into, your world.
There's
if you like.
worse, 33rd degree Freemason woman. Invert, controlled opposition,
driving a Tesla with blonde hair flowing behind you.
Well, that
I was Jewish the other day as well.
Right.
I was Jewish.
let's add that into the mix as well. Yeah, I mean, if
Jewish
you are an
transsexual.
invert,
Yes, that's
your face job is better than Jim Carrey's. If you are,
Thank you very well. Thank you. Yeah.
I don't know if that were a compliment or not, but it would. Yeah.
Before we go, why don't you both plug your books? You've got your book out, Dom, and so have you got a new book out, guy? I've not actually seen the cover of yours, guy.
Oh God, I haven't even got one near me.
I listened to your podcast the other day. I can't remember which one it was. Oh God, I can't remember which one it was.
No,
you ain't got one.
I can show you what I'm reading at the moment.
Neither have I.
Shangri-La.
Yeah. Conspiracy theories. That's my latest book, From Agartha to Zombies. So it literally is an A to Z in alphabetical order of my favourite rabbit holes.
Yeah.
But I don't have one near me.
What podcast did I listen to the other day, guy? And you started talking about pigs.
Pigs, yeah.
Where was that? Where was that? What podcast was it? Was it on Eyeside Chats?
I don't know. I talk about them quite a bit. I was talking about the fact that we shouldn't eat pork because it's dangerously close to human.
Yeah,
and also that in many cultures it's considered to be
spliced.
Oh, my little dog wants to. Sorry.
Yeah, it's supposed to be human
Chewbacca.
Yeah.
I'm sure you flicked his eyeball.
It's the soul of. Oh, thank you. Oh, my beautiful wife just brought me one.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yes, there's a chapter on pigs in this, and a lot of cultures they believe that actually it's the soul of the damned.
Right.
And if you've been an unpleasant person, then you come back as a pig, and that's why they have the human eyes and they can't look up. It can't actually look up, so it's forced to look down for the rest of its life, ahead or down. It can't look up to the heavens, and if you think about it, we use their skin for skin grafts. A lot of their organs, their eyes are human, their eyelash. We refer to as the long pig by cannibals. In certain tribes. So when we eat a pig, it's dangerously close to eating another human, dangerously close. What are we doing? So if I said to you, come round for Sunday dinner, we're having, I've got a leg of human, you might think twice.
Peter Thiel might come round.
Pork, we haven't got a problem eating pork, yet this is a very intelligent animal that shares very similar DNA to us, and we just munch away on it. And I just think I think someone's played a trick on us.
Yeah. Would you be surprised in this?
Laughing.
Yeah. Well, I don't remember.
We're having lots of tricks played on us.
Yeah, but I think this is a brilliant one, isn't it? You imagine the genetic mutation goes wrong. They're making us. They take the wild boar. They take us. Out comes this pig because it's a domesticated boar. No, it's not. It's not a domesticated boar. They're very different animals. You can't use a boar's heart. Their eyes are completely different. Their skin's different.
Pigs have got very human eyes, don't they?
Oh yeah, very
human. Yeah,
and they get sunburned, don't they? They get sunburned.
They do. They have to roll in the mud to protect themselves. Yeah. But so I don't think that if you look at certain religions won't eat pork. I don't think that's got anything to do with it not keeping in their climate, because they say, well, it's a dirty animal, or some people say actually it's not to do with that, it's because it can't be kept very easily and you've got problems with salmonella, but they still eat chicken in the same countries.
Prawns.
Pardon?
She'll eat fish. Fish keeps
Yeah,
even
they'll
harder.
eat bottom feeders, won't they? And
Yeah.
but I think that there's something about pork that the pig just appears 7,000 years ago from nowhere. It just appears. It's a domesticated boar. No, that's not how things happen. You know, it doesn't happen that way. You don't have a pig that's derived from a boar. I mean, how does that happen? What would you have had to have done to do that? It's a little bit like the story of the wolf, and then you just saw little Arthur. He descends from a wolf.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't.
Sort of different creature.
Yeah, and if you look at cats and big cats like lions,
I was just going to say that. Yeah.
reptilian eyes, isn't they?
Yeah, yeah.
The domesticated cat has reptilian eyes.
It resembles a snake more than a cat, and it even goes.
Absolutely.
The only
and
two
the
animals
Egyptians had a thing, didn't they, about it? Yeah, they hiss.
Yeah, with the
big
and
cats
they've got
don't
the
hiss.
Yes, shout from teeth. They don't hiss, and they've got round pupils.
What sort of teeth they got, Chris?
Yeah.
What did I do?
They got with two.
but they got the shout front teeth, but they hiss like a snake. And big cats have got round pupils, haven't they?
They have.
So the little cats have got.
They have these,
and they've got
more like
evil
snakes when they
streak.
yawn. When they yawn, they look like snakes. Yeah.
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 Flip top head.
There's something there, isn't there? And the Egyptians were fascinated by them, weren't they? They would
And they worshipped them.
Yeah, and
There's
Just
definitely
sacred
been some
animal.
genetic splicing somewhere down the line, aren't there?
there's something there. Yeah, there's a lot of hybrid.
Who was it?
going on out there that
Lloyd
we've
Pye,
not been-
wasn't it? Who were going on about this 25 years ago, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Lloyd Pye.
Have you seen that guy? The what's the name of it? I've watched that about 3 times.
Everything you think you know, you don't.
He's wrong.
Anyway, yeah, he's wrong.
Right, okay. Yeah.
Lloyd Pye.
Okay,
Lloyd
sorry.
Pye's called. American guy's dead now.
Yeah.
Interesting
Did he-
character, though, wasn't he? Yeah.
He thought we were spliced with a Bigfoot, didn't he?
Yeah.
Is that the right
really?
way around? Yeah.
Well, or there's some
sounds-
splicing done, yeah.
Sounds crazy, but it's quite a compelling. I think
Yeah.
if I remember, his theory was that Bigfoot was the indigenous creature to Earth, and we were a splice of something else in the Bigfoot. Is that right, Doug? I think that was something
Something like that. It's a long time since I
Yeah.
watched it.
It's very
yeah.
compelling.
We are definitely a hybrid of something,
Yes.
aren't we?
Yeah.
Or
hybrids.
Something that was here, hybrids, something that was wandering around and then something came along, like the Anunnaki or whatever.
Yeah,
We're the only creature who can't live in the natural habitat, aren't we?
Yeah, but if you think about the different types of human that's floating about, I know we've been like us, we're mixed race now, so we're mixed breds, if you like. But if pure African people or pure Amazonian people, if you like, Aborigines, if there is any left in this world, they all look different and they all act different. They've all got different superpowers, if you like. We are the white Northern Europeans are the odd ones out, aren't they?
Absolutely. We
It's
have
like
no
they've all been
connection
placed at
with
different
the
times,
earth,
haven't
do
they?
we?
Yeah.
They all have a connection with the earth. They all understand, and they carry this oral tradition, don't they? That goes back right to the very beginning. And we have nothing. We just have books. And you know, you could wipe us out tomorrow, and they would still be telling people the same stories and following the same things 1,000 years from now. And you would just present us with some new history books and some new books on how we were created and an atlas and an Encyclopedia Britannica, and off we go again.
Yeah. It's also, I mean, just nipping back to Iran, their civilization supposedly 7,000 years old or something like that. And they're taking on a civilization that's 250 years old in America. And America is saying, we're going to wipe you off the map, you know? I mean, how arrogant is that? They've been around quite a while. They invented chess, for fuck's sake, and algebra, and this race of McDonald's eating obese, whatever, right, are saying they're going to take on this system or way of life that's been there for 6,000 years.
Yeah.
That sums up Northern Europeans, doesn't it? The arrogance.
It does. It is arrogant, isn't it? But it's not us, is it?
No, I don't
It's
mean
the
us
people.
generally. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
It's the people that we believe we voted for and put in power.
Very, very. If again, I understand why people get sad about it, but you've got to stay out of it, haven't you? Mentally, you've got to try and stay out of it and
Got to disconnect.
separate yourself. Yeah, from that and just observe what's going on, as sad and painful as it is at times for us all to watch, really.
And if you get angry with anyone over it, you've been propagandized. That's what I think.
Yes,
If you start
absolutely
screaming
right.
and shouting about it, about politics and all that bullshit, you've been propagandized. Yeah, it worked. Yeah, you fallen for it.
and in a way, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It is a bad thing, but it's not, because they spend billions of dollars and hours
It's an
and
understandable
hours
thing.
and training, or understandable, and training, like say with Mariana Spring or people like that. They insert these people in to wind people up to get a reaction, and they've been to school to learn all this shit. We haven't been to school to learn that. You know, when they want to debate you, we're not trained to debate. We can't go into debate with these people because they're trained to knock you off track. You could be winning an argument and they just knock you off track like that in a millisecond, and you've forgotten what you're saying, or you move on to something else. They make you look an idiot instantly. So it's no wonder people get annoyed, because it is frustrating.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right then, Guy. Shall we leave it there, or
Did you hold your book up? Have you got one?
no? I haven't got one. I've got a picture. Yeah, I've got a picture.
Yeah, sure, picture it.
Hey,
What a
I
fantastic
love that
cover.
cover. Really do.
Who did that? I wonder. That was me.
Yeah.
No joking.
Yeah, I think that looks fantastic. I mean, that looks like something I see. Walk into Waterstones and I see it on a shelf.
Maybe not the pandemic politicians, but
No, but the style of it, and I think the title, just the one word, like you said, I think it's really powerful, and I love the design. I think it looks fantastic.
Thank you, Guy. Thank you.
Yeah, he's not bad, is he?
Well, I'm not a book designer, am I?
No. Well, you are now.
Yeah.
No.
I think he's done a bloody good job of that.
Yeah. He's done so. I used a lot of his doodles from 2020, 2021, 2022, and up to present day throughout it as well. So a lot of Boris Johnson pictures and what have you, cartoons and things like that in there.
Yeah.
But, anyway, guys, okay. Yeah, I'll play the out tunes. Just wait there for a sec, Guy, will you? And,
no problem.
Okay, everybody, thanks for tuning in. It's been rather quick. It's been 9:30 already. We've been on nearly 2 hours. Just goes in a blink, doesn't it, fellas?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does.
Can't believe how quick it goes.
Last time I looked up there, it said 23 minutes.
I know. Okay, everybody, we will see you next time. Thanks for tuning in.
But